Vital Nights looks like one of the best fitness games to hit VR in years. You watch the trailer and you'll see a classic setup. The guy bored out of his mind, doing planks, blah 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 blah. Every fitness company does this. Then Vital Nights swoops in to save his soul from plank purgatory. But what is Vital Nights really? Is it a good game? Is it a good workout? And most importantly, is it worth your $17.99 USD? Today I'm diving deep into all the good, the bad, and the aggressively mediocre in this MetaQuest 3 fitness game. Let's go. So the first thing you should know about Vital Nights is you need a decent sized play area because this is full mixed reality. It uses your real world space to create a fantasy land where exercises become your weapons and your defense against these little bad guys and big bad guys and final bosses, TM. Your walls literally open up to reveal enemies that chase you around your house, shoot at you, and basically turn your cozy home into a medieval war zone. Or in my case, the dining room. Also, forgive the mess, but trust me, it's still cleaner than my basement. It's got cat barf on the floor and I stepped in it while I was playing. Now, Vital Nights gets a lot of things right, but it also gets a lot of things really wrong. It's hard to say if the good outweighs what the actual F is going on, but here's what I love. The creative use of mixed reality. The fact that they also tried to tell a story is pretty, it's a good valiant effort. What I don't love, pretty much everything else. Is it a good workout? Well, one of the things you guys gave me a lot of shit about for when I reviewed Fitness Fables was that it wasn't much of a workout for me. Sorry, I guess I'm just naturally sculpted from marble. It's a burden that I have to bear. Vital Nights isn't much better of a workout, but actually I'd say it might be worse of a workout. So I definitely sweat in it, but it was still hit or miss, and I'll explain why later in this video. Some of the things I didn't love. It's glitchy. It gives unclear directions. It's like trying to follow a GPS that keeps whispering, figure it out, champ. Good luck on that street. It's one of these two. So here's an example. There's a part where you practice the squat, hold, shield move. You hold squat and you create a shield, so it shields you from enemies. And the funny thing is I never ended up using this later in the game because the enemies aren't very powerful. But when you get a new weapon, you have to practice it. You have to do the practice. And it just keeps going and going. And I'm holding the squat. There's no timer. There's no counter. Just dead air. And at one point I thought, maybe I died. Maybe this is a game-breaking bug. Eventually it snapped back, but it was super confusing why it took that long. And literally, it was probably 2 or 3 minutes. And in the squat hold world, that's a long time. Another time, a giant wall randomly blocked my entire view of the room. Thanks, dude. I didn't want to see the enemies anyway. I'll just peek my head around the corner like this. I had to restart the game like it was a pirated copy of Leisure Suit Larry on my Windows 98 Amiga 2600. I forget which... That was a stupid joke. Every time you get a new weapon, a tutorial screen pops up blocking your view of the weapons you're supposed to pick up. I couldn't close the menu without picking something up. But I couldn't see what I was picking up. So it's like playing a game of choose the weapon blindfolded, which is not a fun thing to do. Picking up sharp objects blindfolded is not fun. See, little frustrations like this, they stack up faster than those calories you forgot to add to your MyFitnessPal and wonder why you're not losing weight. Check out this video for more about that. My biggest gripe, though, way too much downtime. The death sentence for any fitness game is downtime. There's so much downtime, I could have meal prepped a week's worth of chicken and rice between battles. It feels like a giant tutorial that never ends. And I spent what feels like 10 minutes watching 2 or 3 or 4, I don't even count how many little gods, dramatically slap fighting each other in my dining room while I'm just standing there in my gym shorts wondering if I'm supposed to start shadow boxing or, It felt like when you have a friend that makes you watch a YouTube video that they thought was funny and it's not as funny as they thought, and you look down and it's way longer than you expected, and the time just kind of comes to a standstill and you have to kind of feign interest in the a Hawk to a Girl remix video that really just is kind of not funny, but your friend just discovered the Hawk to a Girl, so they pull you aside at work and show you, and it's just kind of inappropriate anyway. The animation isn't terrible, but it's not exactly ILM either. I mean, we're not expecting that in VR. I think we kind of know what to expect in VR. But honestly, if I'm paying nearly $20 for a fitness game, I want to move. That's what this comes down to. So note to future developers, start with the action. Teach us through the gameplay, not hour-long storytelling scene. Nobody buys a fitness game, goes, you know what I really need? A 10-minute cutscene before I even start my warm-up. Like, I want to move. I want to, if it says fitness, if it's got a picture of a guy getting bored doing planks on the video, this isn't what he was expecting. Like, maybe I should have been holding a plank while I was doing it, and then we're right back to square one. Now, the weapons mechanics, after the intro finally ends, you get a few different weapons. The hammer, where you get to whack these little enemies like you're sweeping crumbs off the floor, so 10 out of 10 for household chore realism. You get the squash gun, which, like, it's like when you move your hands back and forth to shoot, like you're waving your hands dry when there's no more paper towels. I wouldn't exactly call that a workout. And then you get this paddle attachment where you twist your abs to smack like the bullets back, which is clever, but I guess it's an exercise, but it's not much of an exercise. And then there's the squat gun. So you squat to nuke the enemies into oblivion. And you're a big fan of this, but it is pretty OP. But like these kind of appear randomly, and I got the squash gun, and then like you got attachments for it, like you had to hold buttons to use them, but then some disappear, and I don't really know when they come back or like what brings them back. So here's the other problem with the combat. The aiming is messy. Okay, so there's no auto lock. So you're stuck trying to channel your John Wick energy while tripping over your coffee table. And then when you try to go to do this one, the crosshair move, so you have to like do this like slower now because you're aiming. I don't know. It's kind of a mess. Now, I feel like there was no beta testing here. Okay, so there's boxing too, but it's a stretch to call it boxing. So you punch and bullets shoot out of your hands. But here's the deal. They only shoot out of your right hand. So even when you punch with your left, like, they still shoot out of your right. And sometimes you hit a giant block. Like, sometimes they throw a big black ball, like, block thing towards you, and you can't see the sides. But you have to punch the sides, and I'm confused, like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to punch it? Should I hug it? Should I offer it a sincere apologies for being developed? Like, I have no idea. Okay, so I could look past a lot of this if it was a good workout. Like, it was like, oh, this game's kind of crummy, and it was kind of corny, but the workout is really good. But if you play it, you realize it's not a good workout. And that's a problem too, because if you play it, you'll have no reason to finish your workout with a delicious protein shake from Boba Nutrition. The only protein shake I drink because it tastes like actual boba tea at a fraction of the price and a fraction of the sugar content. Use the code FITPROVR to save 15% on your entire order. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the sponsor. You don't have to skip anymore. Eventually you fight the god of air, who's like the first boss in this kind of Mega Man journey here. Or as I like to call him, Mr. Longbody. I mean, look at that torso. Somebody's been doing his ab stretches. So you beat him, and he gives you a crystal, and he becomes your buddy like he was a bad guy. Well, first he was a good guy, and then the evil guy got to him, and then he's a bad guy. And then I beat him, and I gave him his crystal back, which I have for some reason. And then he becomes a good guy again. So, like, that's cool. He's my friend now. I guess we're friends. But the story, it's like, I don't know, man. It just kind of swings between Saturday morning cartoon with its, like, cartoony stuff and then, like, serious fantasy. Like, it wants to be taken serious. Like, but, okay. So you have all these, like, really cool, like, edgy-looking, like, scary bad guys. And then you have the little bad guys. They feel like they've been ripped straight from, like, the Dreamcast bargain bin. Like, doesn't this guy look like he belongs in a Dreamcast game? Sound effects bounce between like these comic book pow and then dramatic thunderclaps. Or remember I was telling you about that epic first fight that took forever? You have all these cool fantasy characters battling, and then look at this guy. He's shooting like cartoon Bugs Bunny Acme rockets out of him, but like that doesn't match. It's like the devs couldn't decide if they wanted Shrek or Game of Thrones, so they just panic mashed them both together, and spoiler alert, that's not a good combo. There's also a training mode, sort of. It's like, do this yoga pose 5 times, and that's it. And then there's also push-ups, but forget it, bro. The game refuses to believe I put the controllers down. Lady, they are on the floor. You can stop harassing me about putting the controllers down. They are more down than my sense of hope for this game at this point. I even tried to hide them far away from her, but no luck. And then the instructions, they play on repeat. until you close the window. And sometimes, like with the push-up thing, she's just going and going. Maybe this gets better later in the game, but honestly, I don't have enough faith to find out. It was like an hour of playing this, and it really felt like an hour-long tutorial. So, final thoughts. Me personally cannot give Vital Knights my stamp of approval. It's too confused about what it wants to be, and it's not even a great workout. I only got my heart rate up during the final boss, and even then, it felt like a mercy killing. Like, there was no true challenge. It's too bad, too, because Vital Knights could have been great. Like, literally, all they had to do was take something like FitXR Slam and reskin it into a fantasy melee game, and then pace it properly. Give me, like, 10 minutes of hard action, at most 2 minutes of story, and then like 5 more minutes of action, and then repeat. Like, everyone needs to stop overcomplicating this stuff. Instead, we always get these weird fantasy, like fan fiction novels with occasional squats. Right now, it feels like they tried to be everything, and in the process ended up doing nothing especially well. But that's just me. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more VR fitness reviews, and there's a little bell down there. I never talked to you about the bell, but click the bell for notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive. Have you played Vital Knights yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know if you agree, disagree, or if you're still stuck in the tutorial watching those little action figures fighting each other with the little red rockets. My name is Ari with FitPro VR, and don't forget to get your workout in today.
So, we finally meet. The divine prophecy was true.